Hi, I'm Mitch Gallagher from Sweetwater. Today we're checking out the latest multi-textural verb from Walrus Audio. Let's get started. Today we're looking at the Slötva multi-textural reverb from Walrus Audio. Now the Slötva is a direct descendant of the slow multi-textural reverb, but it adds 3 presets so you can store your favorite sounds and very quickly scroll among them. Let's take a closer look at what this pedal can do. The Slötva has 3 different algorithms inside, and we'll check the sound of those out in just a second. It's very simple to operate, but it gives you a lot of versatility for creating soundscapes, long, washy reverbs, textural ambiances and soundscapes. It's a beautiful sounding pedal. Today we're checking out the pedal using this Strandberg guitar going through a Supro Keeley Custom 12 amplifier. Here's our dry tone. Now let's check out some sounds from the pedal. The controls are actually very easy to use, and they'll be familiar to you if you've worked with reverbs before. Beginning at the top, we have a reverb decay time. Now this sets the length of the reverb tail. Next up, we have the filter control here in the top middle, and this sets the high frequency or the treble content, and it changes a little bit depending on which algorithm you have selected. So it's sort of custom tailored to sound best with particular algorithms. We have a mix control, and what's a little different about this mix control is that 50/50 is actually here at about 2 o'clock. There's a white line to indicate that. And so you have a lot of range for setting the balance below 50/50, but you can still wash the reverb out by going above 50/50 as well. The function of the X control here on your lower left changes depending on the algorithm, and we'll look at what that does as we look at each of the algorithms. And finally, we have a depth control here, which sets the depth for the modulation. Now, there's a secondary function we can access that also allows you to set the speed of the modulation using that knob. In the lower middle, we have a switch, and that's a dual function switch. It allows us to select among the 3 algorithms, but it also allows you to select among 3 different modulation types when you're using the secondary functions. Bypass control here on your lower left, and that actually can be a momentary control as well, so you can hold it to engage the reverb for just 1 note if you want, and then drop it back out when you're done, or you can set it to latch and the reverb will stay on. The sustain switch here on the lower right allows you to sustain the reverb and basically create a pad, and we'll look at how that works as we look at the different algorithms as well. Moving among the 3 presets is very simple. You just push the bypass and the sustain switch at the same time. We have red, green, and blue. The Slötva comes loaded with 3 presets from the factory, and they demonstrate the 3 algorithms very well. So the first algorithm is called dark. With this algorithm, you have a lower octave signal mixed in. So you basically have an octave below your regular signal coming in to fatten the sound up. Kind of the opposite of the shimmer reverb you find on some other reverbs. So if we engage this, with this algorithm, the X control sets the level of that lower octave. So we can take it basically out, or we can turn it way up. Now decay sets our decay time, as I mentioned, from short to quite long. We'll put this back here. Filter sets our brightness. Put that somewhere here. And mixes our blend from fully wet to fully dry, and 50/50. Modulation depth sets the depth of the modulation. So you can hear that pulsing in there. Bring that down. There's less modulation in the reverb tail. If we hold the sustain switch, the reverb will sustain. Then when we release, it goes through its normal decay cycle. And we can also access 3 different modulation types. I've got the depth turned up here. We'll turn that lower octave down so you can hear a little bit more clearly. But here we're set for a sine wave, which is a smoothly pulsating waveform. If we switch this to warp by holding the bypass switch until the LED flashes and then moving the switch, basically you get an ascending modulation effect. If we hold again, the LED flashes, we can move down to the bottom position, and that's sync modulation mode, where basically the waveform drops. If we go back to our sine wave by holding, going to the top position, if we hold the bypass switch and turn the depth control, we're accessing the speed for the modulation. That's our secondary function there. So if we hold this, the LED actually flashes in time with the modulation. So we've got a slow modulation here. If we turn this up, the LED speeds up, and modulation is much faster. So we listen to our dark algorithm where we have that lower octave mixed in. If we select the second algorithm, we get an algorithm called rise. Now in this case, what's actually happening is the reverb will swell in. So you're removing the attack from the reverb, it smoothly swells in. If you listen to this with the dry guitar mixed in, it's a little hard to hear what's happening. So let's go fully wet. In this case, the X control sets the time it takes for that swell to happen. So it can be very short. Or very long. Our final algorithm is Dream. So let's go back to 50-50 here. We'll set our X back to about 50-50. Move the switch down. This is a very lush, deep, rich reverb, and we can control the depth of the vibrato in the mix by turning up the X control. In this case, the sustain switch actually latches, so this will stay and create a pad for us to play over. When you hit the switch again, it goes through its decay cycle and fades out. We can operate Slötva in one of 2 modes, either trails on or trails off. With trails on, when you bypass the effect, it'll continue going through its release cycle. So if we have the effect engaged, in certain cases, you can also have spillover or the reverb continuing to ring when you move from one preset to another. Now, in order for this to work, you have to have the same algorithm in both of the presets. So if we have the Dream algorithm in both presets 1 and 2, the reverb tail will actually continue ringing as we change from one preset to the other. Finally, we've seen it several times here, but we actually have 3 presets available on board the Slötva. And saving those presets is very simple. You simply scroll to the preset that you want, make your settings. You can see the light change to a different shade of blue there. Then when you're ready with your settings, just press and hold both switches until the light flashes and your preset is saved. I hope you've enjoyed this look at the new Slötva pedal from Walrus Audio. There actually are 2 colors available. This is the standard model, and then we also have a Sweetwater exclusive that's in a beautiful gold finish with white knobs. I really love the way this pedal looks. So check them out. They sound fantastic. The pedals are identical. They're just different colors. If you're looking for textural, ambient, spacious soundscape reverbs, Slötva's a great choice to add to your rig. Thanks for joining me today. I'm Mitch Gallagher from Sweetwater. Thanks Thanks for watching. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Click here for more videos like this, or start at sweetwater.com for all your music instrument and pro audio needs.